Hey guys, and welcome to today's task. For today's task, I'm going to be demoing some tools and showing you how to pull up floorboards and nails. This is a project that I never thought I'd be making a simple video about. Most of the time you think pulling a nail out is pretty simple, but sometimes nails don't come out that easy. And with older construction, that's all you're dealing with is old nails that have probably gotten corroded or stuck in some way, and they need help getting out, and I'm going to show you those tools today. So a little update on the house. We are pulling up all of the floorboards on this additional room. All the walls are down, all of the plumbing is exposed, and it's most likely going to be moved. We have been in contact with a drafter, and they have drafted some plans for us that I think are going to be awesome for this room. But the last thing I have to do is get up these last floorboards. Now I want to show you a few things, and we'll go into more depth on this on another video. This looks really nice. You have a seam here, a seam here, a seam here, and a seam here. It looks clean. It makes it look like these floorboards were laid pretty nicely, and that's how they were laid all the way through this entire room. I'm going to be very frank. That was completely wrong, and I will show you exactly how to lay floorboards in another video when we lay the floorboards on this, but just so you're aware, don't ever lay your floorboards with all the seams lining up. A quick tip with pulling floorboards: if you are wondering where the nails are going to be, it is going to be in line with the studs. So that first board will be the hardest one to get out. After that, you can just follow the stud lines, and that's where all of your nails most likely will be. Okay, these are the three tools that I really want to show you guys how to use today. The first tool I want to show you guys is a simple pry bar. This one has a nail puller at the end, and it has a tapered section that is meant to slide underneath or kind of pierce wood a little bit and get underneath and help you pry underneath. The second one is this one. This one's flat. It's meant to get underneath as well and be pounded underneath and pried against. It works really, really well. The one that I like the most though is this one right in the middle. If you slide it over a nail and pry up like that, it really gives you good leverage, and I feel like it doesn't pop the head nails or the nail's head as much as the other ones can. So this is kind of a good go-to bar to have, and I really recommend this one. The next one is a nail puller. Now this thing is especially made for nail pulling, not necessarily prying. You don't have much leverage on it, but it has a similar spade front end with a point that's meant to pierce and get underneath. It has a similar one, but even deeper scoop on the end. This one is meant to be pounded in and pulled hard against. It also has this small hole. This kind of reminds me of Mary Poppins' cane. I don't know why, but that's what I think of. This hole is meant to be pounded over top of a nail, and it exposes the nail a little bit. Then you can kind of get these to pry underneath a little bit better. Next is this hammer. This is not a normal hammer. This hammer weighs 22 ounces. That's a very heavy hammer in regards to framing or anything like that, and it doesn't have a framer's head. It doesn't have some of the framer's features because this is a demolition hammer. This has a section to fit a 2x4 in and pry against if need be. It also has a blunt force head. It also has a nail puller here, and it has more of a straight head so that you can pry a little bit better. It's not as curved as some other hammers can be. Also, I like this hammer for demolition because it has a flat neck right here. When I'm cutting through sheetrock for the first time, it allows me to not just pound the head through, it allows me to pound and cut through just a little bit more. So I really like this as a demo hammer, but it is heavy, and you have to be very aware of that when you're swinging it. You will go home with a sore arm. Once again, for today's task, you will want gloves on because you will smash your fingers, and I've already smashed both my index fingers. I'm almost positive this one's deeply, deeply bruised. It swelled up to the size of 2 fingers about a week ago. It's back to normal now, but it's still pretty tender. This one's been smashed. I've got a few blood blisters. That's with gloves on. So if you don't have gloves on, think of the damage it would do. I'd probably be in the ER getting stitches. I don't want that at all, so wear your gloves. When I first started prying up these boards, not all of the nails were visible. I started realizing what I was looking for when I went at it. So I kind of got my pry bar started, and I would push against. But that doesn't do a lot of good. You ultimately want to get under that nail. But this one's just not quite right for the job. This tool, however, is great for this job. It quickly pulls up the nails. Now, the only side effect of this tool is it is going to do damage to the wood. So if you're wanting to reuse this wood, you've got to find out a more delicate way of doing it. This wood is in such bad condition that it's splitting no matter what we do. So we're taking all of it out. If your wood isn't splitting like this and you want to try and salvage it, I would try and be a little more delicate. You can try this method where you put the hammer over the nail. It can kind of expose the nail. But ultimately, this wood is so bad, it's not gonna expose what I need to be. For this pry bar, I'm gonna show you the quickest way and the best ways to use it. You can stick this underneath like that and pull, and that gives you a lot of leverage, and it's gonna pull that nail out. You can, if you need to slide this up, do that like that, but you're limited on how far you can actually pull it, but it does work. My favorite feature on this pry bar is this middle one. Like I said, you can put it on a nail and pry against those front teeth, and it really grabs those nails. These ones have small heads and they're not easy, and my big hammer typically slides off them, but this one pulls them out with ease. So once again, simply put over the nail and pry, and it works the best. So if you've just got nails that are already exposed that you just want to finish pulling out, this is a great pry bar for that. A little last tip. If you guys are trying to pull a nail and you are only setting the nail on the tip of the head, you're gonna shear that nail off and never get that nail out. Some will come, but most won't. The key to pulling a nail is to set the neck of the nail deep into the crooks of the nail puller, whichever kind you're using, and it will almost inevitably pull that nail that way on its own. So you guys, I want to show this for demonstration purposes only. If you've got a nail that the head is gone and you can't get off, if you take your hammer or nail puller, whichever kind, and you bend it like that, you'll start pulling the nail out. Then it can give you an area to grab the nail, and you'll pull that nail out. Knowing what I know using these tools, it has made this project actually go a lot faster, but it is still time consuming, and don't get me wrong, you're going to be stuck doing this for a while, but it's best to just do it right instead of trying to rip the boards apart, leaving all these nails stranded and whatnot. Now my floor joists are all cleared of nails, and I'm ready to lay sheeting over top of them without any other problems. So I recommend doing it right the first time, but these tools will at least help you do that. Quick tip, if you're trying to... Now, these are the two nail... Okay, you guys, I don't know the name of this. To the first pry bar that's... The next one is, and they like... I'm gonna shear